sir. That's our plan. Should be good. Should be fun.
What's up, my man?
Hey, Coach. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. What is it? Lee, right? Luke.
Yes, sir. Good to meet you in person.
Good to meet you, man.
Awesome. So now you'll just put on, whichever side you can flip it. Yeah.
You're not showing me, right? It's just a voice, right?
Hello and welcome into the CGTC Broadcast Network. I'm Luke Winstel here with head coach Rico Dawson for the Central men's team. Coach, your team's 2-0. What have you liked most about your squad's performance at home those first two games?
Well, always with my teams early on, we kind of still trying to figure each other out. As a coaching staff, we're trying to figure out what guys play well together. And we're still in that mode, during the regular season. We figured that out by now. But it's kind of slow with COVID and just trying to get guys ready to play. So we're getting through it. We're going to get through it, and once we get through it, we'll be a team to reckon with in our conference.
On the offensive side, you've had some guys put up some big performances. Who's impressed you most?
Well, our returners, Monte Terrell and Truett Spencer was two of our guys that played a lot of minutes last season. So just their growth from last season to now has really impressed me. And they'll continue to get better because they're two hard-working kids and they want to get better. And, want to is half the battle.
Definitely. Well, I know your team always prides itself on its defense. How have you felt about that side of the ball and where your team is right now?
We could get better. I think we're struggling with our communication side of it. We have about 3 or 4 quiet guys that don't want to talk and their playing time is suffering because of it. So hopefully we can reach them with that, withholding playing time over their head, and we'll see if they can get better with our communication aspect of it. But I think we're in the right spots. We're playing hard defensively. We're trying to guard. Our guys are trying to do what we ask them to do with our schemes. So as we continue to move forward, we'll continue to get better.
For sure. Well, in the double overtime game on Saturday, take me through kind of what was going through your head and your thoughts post-game that you said to your team and your thoughts on that game.
Well, when you're the defending GCAA champs, you're going to get everybody's best night, no matter how good or how bad you think your opponent is. So we have to get ready. We have to establish the mindset that we're going to get everybody's best shot every night. And now that the new NJCAA rankings are out, we're a top 20 junior college program, and a lot of programs are looking at that. And again, we're going to get team's best night. So the bullseye just got even bigger for us, and we just got to step up to the challenge and just learn how to compete as a group.
Well, how do you coach your team? Like, what do you tell them to get them used to competing with that big target on their back?
Well, in this business, everybody's fighting for the same scholarship. So either you want an opportunity to get that scholarship, or you want to be sitting at home. And that's how we put it. So either you're going to fight for it, or you're going to lay down, and we leave it up to them.
Definitely. Well, playing action today, can you give us a preview of your opponent and what you're expecting from them?
Well, Coach Harris usually has a couple of really good guys. He's one of the guys that I trust to, as a post-grad coach, to run it right, to do it the right way. And he's always done a good job with his program. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And again, every chance we get to suit it up, we're always working on us because we're playing for March. You know, and we want to be firing on all cylinders come tournament time.
Definitely. Well, last question for you. Any players on the action team that are really sticking out to you on the scouting report?
They have one kid that's been putting up some pretty good numbers. So we're going to keep an eye on him. Hopefully we don't have to do any special things. We can just try to, hopefully we can defend him man to man. And I know a lot of teams in our league are watching this game, so hopefully we won't have to show too much.
Definitely. Well, Coach, appreciate your time. Good luck today.
Thank you, Luke. Take care, man.
Thanks for your time. Audio check. Mic check 1 2 3. Audio testing 1 2 3. Audio check 1 2 3. Welcome to Central Georgia Technical College, home of the Titans. We have tipped off and we are underway here from Macon, Georgia. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm Luke Winstel. We've got a great matchup here between Central and Action Sports Academy out of Stone Mountain, Georgia, in DeKalb County. Almany Dream trying to get things started for Central, out of bounds. And Central will take it out. We appreciate those of you who tuned in early today. We had an interview with head coach Rico Dawson from the Central team, the home squad. Coach Rico talked about the key for today's game is realizing that the team has got a target on their back. They're going to get everybody's best shot. The Central team was just put into the rankings, number 20 in the national poll for the NJCAA. They're going to be a tough team to beat this year. But they have to realize when they're playing teams, even post-grad squads like Action Academy, they have to be aware that they've got a big target on their back. Pierce inside, gets his own rebound. It bounces around and into the hands of Malcolm Mukandente, the point guard. Now a drive from Austin, he puts it up short. And it's Central ball. Dre inbounds to Terrell. Terrell is one of 3 returners for the Central team. Terrell and Truett Spencer are the 2 leading scorers, averaging in double figures. Terrell had a huge 20-plus point game last time out. But that last game here for Central, both of the games this season have been at home here in Macon, Georgia. But Terrell went insane, dropping 20-plus in a couple of overtime periods that game on Saturday. It was an 86-81 win. Now Terrell trying to set it in motion, finds Spencer. Truett Spencer, team's top scorer, most consistent this season. Spencer's been the guy that the team looks to a lot when they need scoring. ASA with a quick substitution. When you look at Action's lineup, it's really fascinating. They've only got 2 Americans on their team. They've got 4 guys from Ontario, Canada. 1 from France, 1 from Alabama, 1 from California. They're located in Stone Mountain, Georgia. There's lots of talent nearby, but they've opted to look far and away for a lot of their players. Pierce, mid-range jumper, clings off the rim. Drame with an offensive rebound. Pierce has it batted away and stolen. Clark, the combo guard. Tara spins mid-post, has it deflected by Vance. Spencer kicks outside, Terrell. Drame, three-pointer. ASA, coached by David Harrison, likes to push the tempo. Central's a little more of a half-court team. But for ASA, they like to go with it. Clark cuts, lofts it up. He's fouled on the shot. Darren Clark out of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Now Clark with a couple of free throws. It's a tough early season matchup for Action. Free throw made. Having to go against the Central team, top 25 junior college. Here's the second free throw from Clark. But it'll be a good measuring stick type of game for ASA. That's really the biggest reason they want to play this. Figure out where they are, how competitive their team is, what kind of talent they have. If you look over at their bench, they've only got 2 guys. They're bringing 7 players down here. Travel called on Drame. The turnover sends the ball to ASA. It's been interesting, especially over the past decade, to watch the game of basketball grow. The NBA has been trying to fuel that a lot with their international academies, bringing the game to other countries, as the layups made by Rowley. But ASA is an example of one of the schools that is helping bring a lot of talent over to America. Terrell, cross-court pass. Pierce drives, blocking foul called. 2 shots coming for Pierce. Dominic Pierce, a sophomore guard. He is a steady, consistent player. We are at an early point in the season. It's a small sample size look for Pierce, but in his sophomore year, being the 3rd returner along with Terrell and Spencer, the 3 sophomores on this team, he is shaping up to be a big-time contributor. He doesn't have to score as much because the other 2 guys, Terrell and Spencer, in his class will do a lot of that. For Pierce, what's been most interesting is 10 assists through 2 games. He's not a point guard. He's not really a ball distributor. But when he creates for himself, he does not mind kicking it out. He finds teammates well. Because of his high basketball IQ, Pierce is able to create a good bit for not just him, but his teammates. That time, Rowley creates again. He's got 4 points. Rowley with a couple of quick moves to the basket early on for ASA. Drame thought about the 3-pointer, slashes inside, count it, and 1. Almany Drame will now head to the free throw line looking for a 3-point play. Drame's been effective from all over. He's able to shoot a 3-pointer, but shooting 43% from the field on the season. He's out of Dakar, Senegal. Free throw's good. So as you can see, an early theme, there's lots of international talent. A couple of guys from Nigeria, Drame from Senegal for Central. Between the 2 teams, there's almost as much international talent as there is from the United States. Shot comes up. Number 13's not listed on the ASA roster. Spencer kicks outside. Terrell. Rowley making a move. He is fouled by Spencer. Rowley's been tough inside. He's had a couple of finishes here early on that were well defended. But he just goes up strong, finishing through contact. Seems to be a big strength in his skill set early on. That time, too much contact for him to even really get a shot off. Now 2 shots coming. Two shots from a technical foul. Austin missing the first. Now we have the free throws coming from Rowley. With the technical foul, teams awarded 2 free throws in the ball, but we also have the 2 free throws from the shooting foul that will be taken here by the visiting team. Jalen Hickman comes in for Truett Spencer. Hickman was a huge boost off the bench for the Central team on Saturday. In his first game, he looked okay, but did not put up really many numbers. second game, he's well over 15 points, knocking down three-pointers from everywhere. A little bit of a coming out party for Hickman on Saturday. We'll have to see and monitor how he continues that momentum here. Terrell, no look pass, Drame inside. Terra, Euro step blocked off the backboard by Drame. It'll stay here, ASA ball. Good play from Drame in transition. Terra there is trying to take it coast to coast, dribbling with the right hand, trying to penetrate. Drame timed it well. Shalom Osaba, freshman forward, is checking in for Drame. First 4.5 minutes were good for Drame. Pretty high effort. Central looked to him on the offensive side, and he was fairly productive. Travel called on Mukandente. Montavious Terrell. Turned over by Spencer. Nice shot from Austin, short floater. 5-point advantage for ASA early on. It's been a struggle on the offensive side for Central. Hickman outside, Terrell, left wing. Hickman with a nice offensive rebound. Vance inside, open lane, finish with the right hand. Here's Rowley trying to get a pick on the left side. Rowley working on Osaba, and he can't get the bank shot. Foul's called on Raleigh. Errol White comes in for Vance. White out of New York. Half-court press here for ASA. Terrell, nearly 7 minutes in. Hickman, after a cross-court pass, trying to step back, sends it outside. Spencer, long on a three. Raleigh pushing the tempo. Tries to go through two defenders, and a jump ball called. Good defense from White. Raleigh has a look around, close to a 5-second call. Terra, top of the key. Step back three-pointer, won't go. Hickman driving quickly, slashing in the lane and finishing. Jalen Hickman striking on the right side. It's a 1-point game, 4-0 run for Central. Central's had a couple of defensive stops, allowing them to get back in within 1 point. White's been active defensively early on. Raleigh, foul called. Spencer tried to come over and help after White got beat off the dribble. And Spencer will be credited with the foul. Raleigh at the free throw line. His team's 4 of 6 there today, 4 of 7 after that shot. ASA making a couple of substitutions. It's interesting for a team like them that wants to play up tempo. They've only got 7 guys, so they've got to be in great shape to play all game the way that they want to in that style. Central will take it out. Again, you see ASA pressing. They want to play fast. They want to be in transition. They know that that gives them the best chance to win. When you've only got 7 guys, of course, you've got to stay out of foul trouble. And you've got to make sure that your guys are conditioned. So it'll be a good test for them in the early portion of the 2021 season. Osaba, a bucket, and we are tied at 11. Osaba's a fantastic finisher. He's shooting 70% this year. Credited with a shot block there. Terrell looking way long for Hickman. Osaba doing it both ways on back-to-back plays. White drives baseline, puts it up, blocking foul. Send him to the free throw line for 2. Errol White has not scored a ton yet since he's been at Central. He has been good rebounding and helped the team. White making his first at the line to give Central a lead. Nearing the 1/4 mark in the game. White's a player that has a really nice frame as he goes through his collegiate career. You can expect a lot of development out of him. He's got a good body, very athletic. Drive inside, Osaba with a block. Osaba serving as a rim protector here early for Central. Hickman gets it again. Jalen Hickman in the lane, making a couple of shots in the past 2 minutes. Hickman's picked up right where he left off on Saturday. Raleigh outside. Davis, shot clock winding down. Fadeaway jumper doesn't go, and Terrell wants to get it out quickly. Nice pass, White inside. He didn't finish. Osaba didn't finish either. Kicked out to Spencer. Yes, sir. Spencer knocks it down. Justin Spencer, freshman point guard. It is a huge run from Central. 17-11 is our score. We'll be back with more on the Titan Broadcast Network. We are back on the Titan Broadcast Network. Lots of momentum for Central. Since trailing 10-9 about 4 minutes ago, things have gone much differently. They've outscored ASA 8-2. That is what this Central team can do to you. They can go on runs really quickly. You give a couple plays off, or defensively you make a couple of mistakes, and then all of a sudden you find out your lead is gone and you trail by 6. Raleigh, nice mid-range J. ASA kept things under control on that possession, found a good shot, and Raleigh converted. Got a foul. We've got a hold against Draham of Central. That'll turn the ball over as Scott comes in for Spencer. Spencer had a big 3 there right before the timeout. Clark gets a pick. Offensive foul. That one is off the ball. I think it came down in the post. Scotty Austin matched up against Errol White. No, I think it was Mukandente who's credited for that foul. Mukandente on White. They're going at it down low. Mukandente's trying to clear out some space on the block. Used a little too much of the arm there. Isaiah Scott, who's been fresh into the game, inbounds to Hickman. Hickman coming off the bench is a huge boost of energy, and that's exactly why. Another layup. He has owned it today in the paint. Made that one look easy. Under 10 to play until halftime. Picked off by Scott. Hickman lobs it up. Draham was behind him. ASA ball. They will bring in Adam Terra.
Adam Terra, number 23, back on for Action Sports.
Terra's the lone European here from Lyon, France. Clark slowing things down. ASA trying to draw up a play here. They haven't found a ton of success in the half court yet, but when they have, it's been from Raleigh, who just passed it off to Mukandente. Terra called out of bounds. Stepped out on the near sideline. Hickman turns it over. Passed it right to Terra. Terra tries to move in the lane. Errol White single-handedly making a defensive stop. Draham the other way. Off his knee. ASA ball.
Scotty Austin, number 1, checks in.
Ramir Raleigh on the ball, working on Hickman. Those have been probably the 2 best scorers today. They're off to good early starts, facing off against each other. 3-pointer. Offensive rebound. Interesting occasion there for Austin as he misses on a layup. Little 3-footer there. Pierce, cross-court pass picked off. Central getting a little careless with the ball. Raleigh turns it over into the backcourt. Now Terrell will check in for Central. Terrell's immediately going to inbound. No, Errol White will inbound. We'll have a set play from Central on the inbounds. Here's Scott. Drame spinning, finds White, wide open. Beautiful offensive play from Central. Perfectly executed on the inbounds play. Now this is one of those games where Central knows on a Thursday night, a lot of teams from around their conference and around the nation have their eyes on them. Number 20 team in the country, and Central hosting today. Hoping they don't have to show too much, according to head coach Rico Dawson. Foul called on the drive from Raleigh. Now Raleigh to shoot a pair. Free throws good. Osaba will check in for Drame. Osaba had a great stint earlier on in the first half when he came in off the bench. Put up about 4 or 5 minutes of great defending, finishes on the offensive side. Here's Terrell with Central up 6. White, jump stop in the lane, wave off the shot. Charge called, it's an offensive foul. Scotty Austin took the charge. Now in for the first time since the opener. Last Friday night, Bernard Washai is into the game, number 22. He'll be playing at center. Turned over. Errant pass from ASA, Central ball. One thing that's a little bit surprising for Central, their center who started the past couple of games, Jaquan Gatling, the freshman forward, has not made an appearance yet today. Gatling is dressed on the bench. He just has not come in yet. A little lower in that center rotation. He's another guy who's rebounded well, but only put up a couple of points a game. Washai made a couple of plays on Friday night. Seems like he'll be a good piece in the rotation for Central. Terrell, a floater, unlucky. Scott with the right hand. Hook shot doesn't fall. Rebounded by Washai. He puts it up and in. Washai on the board. His team's up 8. Stellar defense over the past 10 minutes of game clock. Central's been great in the half court, forced a lot of errors. Like that one, double dribble, Central ball. Central's been athletic, they've been swarming. Now defensively, the key for them is communication. Coach Dawson talked about it pregame. If you caught my interview with him about 15 minutes before tip-off, he said that a lot of his guys are communicating well, but there's a few that have been really quiet, and that's been something they're shoring up on that side of the ball. Today they've been active, they've been athletic. I've heard a lot of talking. That's a big focus for them. Pierce for 3. Yes, sir! Pierce knocks it down. Double-digit lead for the first time for Central. Raleigh penetrates, pivots. He is fouled. Ramir Raleigh again at the stripe to shoot free throws. Raleigh is already in double figures. Played a little over 10 minutes. He's got 10 points, 3 of 4 from the field, 4 of 6, 4 of 7 now from the free throw line. Now Raleigh is leading all scorers today. Jalen Hickman for Central has 6 points. Dominic Pierce has 5. For both teams, it's been pretty spread out, but, well, not really for ASA. 10 of 15 have come from one guy, and that's the guy at the free throw line right now. Raleigh gets the second free throw. He's up to 11 points. He's been their go-to guy. Raleigh's been putting up numbers for ASA recently. One of the players that Coach Dawson and the Central team have been really focused on shutting down today. Scott drives on a wide open right side, wave it off. Another offensive foul. Charge taken down low. Well done by ASA, taking a couple of charges. It's negated now 4 points for Central. Scott comes off. Spencer has checked in. A shade over 5 minutes to play until halftime. Three-pointer on the way and good. Terrell, Hail Mary pass up to Washai. Washai goes up strong and misses. Travel called on Terra.
Traveling Titans basketball. Jalen Hickman, number 5,
It'll be CGTC ball as Hickman comes in.
Jaquan Gatling.
And there's Jaquan Gatling checking in. Gatling in for the first time today. We'll see what he can do at the 5. The center spot's been a very competitive one for Central. They've got 3 guys they like there. Terrell, 5'10" point guard with an easy finish. 28-19 our score. It's a 9-point lead for Central. They trailed early on by 5, but since they've gotten very comfortable. Since being down 10-5, outscored their opponent 23-9. Osaba swats it out of bounds. Austin sets it in motion. 1 second on the shot clock as it goes up from Mukandente. It did not catch rim. The shot clock violation leads to CGTC having the basketball with 4:11 to go. Terrell commits a violation. Can't move on that inbounds play. Timeout called by ASA. 4:11 to go until halftime. 28-19 our score. The home team, the Titans, lead. We welcome you back to the Titan Broadcast Network. A look here at our stats before halftime. Jalen Hickman leading Central. It's been a balanced look today. They have had 9 players score already in the first half. Raleigh inbounding. Tara at the top of the key. Drive inside, floater goes for ASA. 7-point game as Terrell brings it down the floor. White up to Hickman. Terrell inside, Gatling. First touch of the game, shot goes. Timeout called by Coach Dawson in Central. 3:31 to go until halftime. Now out of the timeout, Central in a full court press. Drive inside from Davis, doesn't get it to go. White sends it ahead, Hickman in transition. Hickman off the window. 4 field goals made for him. He's got 8 points leading the way for CGTC. All coming on the right side too, right-handed layups. White dishes it off, Terrell. 34-21, 13-point lead. Central seizing some momentum out of the timeouts here before halftime. Errol White, another play on the defensive side. Drives in. He doesn't get the roll. Hickman after the offensive rebound. Short on the finish. Spencer. Terrell rifles it inside. Gatling goes up strong and misses a layup. Several short shots missed on that last possession for Central. Want to clean that up inside. Hickman, Hail Mary ball for White, out of bounds. It's a good idea, but Errol's come up limping. I don't think he had the acceleration to get to that one. Having a tough time getting off the floor. Vance Jr. comes in. White and Gatling have come off for Central. Under 2 to play until halftime. Clark, step back. Nice look mid-range off the back iron. Terrell with a lead and plenty of time to work with. Scott, left elbow. Davis dishes it off. Davis. Good stand by Vance Jr. in the mid-post. Shot comes in and out for Clark. Up way ahead to Vance Jr. Floats it in. Vance Jr. has got Central going in transition, a 15-point lead with under 45 to play until halftime. Been an efficient first half offensively. CGTC shooting 48% from the floor. That includes 4 or 5 missed layups as well. Terra. And Central ball with 18.5 seconds to go. Shot clock will be turned off as Pierce comes into the game. Pierce from Cincinnati, Ohio, replaces Scott. Hickman inbounds. Full court press for ASA. We've got to get the clock to start. And we'll do it again. Terrell. Pierce, 8 seconds to go. 3 seconds left for ASA. Last second three-pointer, short off the rim. 36-21 our score at halftime. Stay tuned for more coverage here from CGTC in Macon, Georgia. Welcome back to the Titans Broadcast Network. I'm Luke Winstall here with cross-country coach Craig Lawson. Coach, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, man.
You're welcome. Well, first off, I'm curious, with the cross-country teams, can you give us an update on how the season went?
Yeah, so it was a tough 2020 with COVID-19 and the restrictions. We were fortunate enough to be able to get a season in. We didn't get to go to all the meets that we wanted to go to. But because of the virus, there was maybe a little less competition, so we actually won about 3 or 4 meets this year, which is not typically the case at the junior college level because we'll run against bigger teams. But really great season for our men's team. They won the conference, the GCAA conference, for the first time in school history. Luis Alvarado won the individual championship, and then on the women's side, Anna Ash won the conference individually. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough women runners to field a full team, but given the circumstances, about as much success as we could have had.
For sure, that's awesome. Well, who are some of your top performers that you'd like to spotlight from this past season?
So Luis Alvarado and Anna Ash, like I already said, they won the conference. Josh Flores had a great year, was all region for us. Andrew Boss, a transfer from Shorter College, was also all-region for us. And then we had several guys that were right on the cusp of being all-region finishers. Christian Troth had a great year. Logan Ward had a great year. Tritavius Jones, and then Zach Brown. He had a real up-and-down year, but he finished strong. He actually went out to nationals and ran a 27, which if you're under 30 at our level, you're doing something pretty good. So he was above 30 every race and then ran 27 out in Iowa. And the team actually finished 16th at nationals, which was a very pleasant surprise. I didn't think we were going to do that well, to be honest, so I was happy with that.
Awesome. Well, looking at nationals, what was that experience like for you?
It was cold. I mean, we were out in Fort Dodge, Iowa, which I had never had the pleasure of visiting. But I think some of our guys actually responded well to it. The cold weather, I don't know if it energized them, but they went out there and pretty much everyone PR'd. We had 5 guys go under 30, and I think we only had 1 the whole year that actually went under 30 during our regular meets in the heat. But overall, it was a great experience. Central Iowa did a great job. They were the host school, and it was our second time going to nationals, but first time taking everyone. So overall, I would say it was a positive experience. We hope to be back next year.
Definitely. Well, what's the outlook? Who's coming back? I mean, what are you looking at heading into next season?
So Gabby Heaton and Anna Ash, as of right now, are returning for the women. We just signed our first signee, Krista Hall, out of Bleckley County. We have a couple other commitments that I can't comment on at this point. And then on the men's side, we should return almost everyone except for Andrew Boss. Luis Alvarado will be back. He was a freshman. Josh Flores, Christian Trout, Logan Ward, Brandon Bill, Zach Brown, and I don't want to miss anybody. I think that's actually it of the Tritavius Jones. I don't know if I said it or not. Should all be back for next year. So should have a strong men's team, and I think the women's team, if we can get the recruits in that we're hoping, we should be strong on both sides. So.
What's the recruiting trail like for you now with the COVID pandemic going on, trying to bring in the athletes that you want?
Well, fortunately, you don't have to really watch film with running. Their times are listed online, so you just spend a lot of time calling high schools, trying to get in touch with coaches, trying to get in touch with kids, find the kids that are interested in running, and seeing what offers they have. I mean, it's tough, but I think we're starting to learn to at least live with the virus. Hopefully it'll go away soon. So it's gotten easier, but it was really tough last spring, for sure.
Definitely. Well, I'm curious, with the pandemic going on in this past season, I mean, what was your message to your team, and how were you able to overcome it and make it to nationals with the success you did have?
Luck. A lot of it was luck. I pretty much told them to stay in their house and wash their hands every time they went to a different room. I wasn't with them 24/7. But we only had one player test positive one runner test positive the whole year, and fortunately she didn't contact trace with anyone else. So we just didn't. I think we were blessed a little bit, but I would say mostly luck. We try to be as diligent as we can, but you can only do so much when there's a pandemic going around, you know.
Definitely. Well, You've got some experience with basketball. What have you thought about the Central team that you've seen so far this season?
Well, I think they've had a tough time too because, they've been limited in what they can do when they're bringing kids in. Coach Dawson and Coach Mincy always do a great job of bringing in athletes. Obviously, they're working on hopefully their 4th straight conference championship. They've won 3 in a row. We do have a strong cast of returners with Terrell and Pierce and Truitt, Spencer, that were on the team last year and were instrumental, played a lot of minutes, especially in the backcourt. Having those guys is big. But this part of the season is typically a slog anyway when you're in your non-conference, and doing it this late in the year, or I guess early in the year, but late in the season, it's different. So we'll see how the team responds.
Definitely. Well, we are set to begin play for the second half. We'll be back with more in just a few seconds here.
Test 1, 2, test.
Welcome back into the Titan Broadcast Network. Quick bucket for Vance Jr. A quick start for Central.
Yeah, nice quick bucket. Side out of bounds play from Coach Dawson.
David slops up a mid-range shot. Offensive board. It's back out to Clark. Clark now, rather.
Coach Dawson not going to be happy with that. He harps on blocking out. Second chance opportunity, ends up with a 3-point for ASA.
Scotty Austin for ASA with the first bucket of the second half. 15-point lead for Central. The 2-pointer, Vance Jr. fouled inside. They'll go to the stripe for 2.
It's kind of my first time seeing Vance Jr. get extensive playing time. His first year with the program, but he looks to be a player that Coach Dawson is going to go to a lot in the post, assuming he can stay out of foul trouble and stay on the court.
It's been a little surprising to me. He's come off the bench in the first 3 games. First game put together, I believe, an 8.3 rebound game in his debut off the bench. Seems like a guy who can really push for a starting spot at the 5.
And that's what you see in the junior college game is, a lot of times these teams – they're brand new to each other. Now we have the COVID mixed in, and it just takes a while to figure out the guys you can trust. What are your rotations going to be? Who are your strong spots? Who plays well together? Vance Jr. gets away with a little bit of contact there.
Dram with a rebound. Now Central taking it the other way. Offensive foul this time on Vance Jr. down low. Contact off the ball. Vance trying to clear out the lane. Substitution made.
It's the thing with young players. Vance Jr. was lucky not to get a foul call on the other end, but picks it up on offense.
Drive inside. Miss on the layup from Austin. Spencer in transition for Central. Turnover. Well, for Spencer and Central, it's been interesting in the second half on Saturday. Put together a fantastic performance. Got into double figures after a slow first half, but Truitt Spencer had another first half where didn't have a great offensive game. Dream trying to defend inside. He's called for a foul.
Spencer, one of those sophomores we were talking about, was on the team, knows what it's like to go through a collegiate season, and they're going to lean on him heavily. If they're going to win their 4th straight championship, Truitt Spencer is going to have to be big for this program.
That is for sure. Now Raleigh is at the free throw line for ASA. Raleigh out of Hamilton, Ontario.
11 points so far for Raleigh.
Got the first free throw up to 12. He's been a lot of their offense today, creating. The second half, ASA will look for guys like Malcolm Mukandinte and Darren Clark to step up at the guard position on the offensive side.
Mukandinte yet to get on the board for ASA, but they've been running their offense primarily through Raleigh at this point.
Spencer drives on the right side, puts it up.
Maybe not the best shot for Spencer on that possession.
Clark, three-pointer is good. Darren Clark for three.
Stepped into it in rhythm and transition. It's a good way to get an easy bucket.
Pierce, top of the key, Drame, corner, Terrell. Vance Jr. fouled on the layup attempt.
He's made some mistakes and he's done some good things in this half, but that was an excellent seal underneath by Vance Jr. using his size. He's a wide guy, he's a heavy guy, and when he leans on you, it's hard to move him.
Definitely, Vance is the biggest guy, widest frame in this game. Definitely uses it well. He's done that.
He's got kind of a Charles Barkley build.
Yeah.
But maybe with a little bit better hair.
Yeah. With Vance down low, he's provided a lot of rebounding, scoring boost, making a couple of free throws, extending it out to a 14-point lead.
Titans pressing here. Looks like they're not necessarily trying to turn the ball over, but perhaps limit the amount of time that ASA has when they cross half court. As you see the turnover there.
Turnover, Titans basketball.
So that was Jervon Davis. May have carried it.
It's Titans basketball. Now, one thing that's interesting, both teams, especially Central, usually takes care of the ball well, but 14 turnovers each early on.
14 turnovers is not great for an entire game, so that is another thing that neither of these coaches will be happy about, especially if you're talking about Central Georgia Tech and all the experience they have returning in their backcourt.
Mukandinte commits the foul.
Still working the kinks out.
Terrell inbounding. The defense has been the bright spot, what's kept Central in the game, only allowing 28 points through about 22 and a half minutes of basketball.
You'll definitely take that. That's a...
Wave it off, offensive foul.
It's like Truitt pushed off, but he didn't finish the layup anyway.
Jalen Hickman coming back in, Central's leading scorer, put together a fantastic first half.
8 points for Hickman in the first half, seeing his first minutes here in the second half.
Hickman and Vance, two guys in the game, have been the two best players off the bench for Central this season.
See more defense. Pierce with the pass and transition to Hickman. Nice finish.
Under 17 to play. Jalen Hickman was in double figures in the first half.
Hickman's smallest guy on the team, new to the program, brings a lot of energy, and obviously is able to put the ball in the bucket as well.
Davis on the right side, foul called. Vance Jr. whistled for that one.
Vance Jr. not able to move his feet and beat Jervon Davis to the spot. It's going to be his second foul.
Davis now shooting a couple. Two subs ready to come in for Central, Osaba and Spencer. They'll check in now. Terrell and Vance come out. Osaba's been good today. He's shooting about 70% from the field on the season.
Another kid that's new to the program, but Coach Dawson bringing a lot of size in. Most of the new guys are big guys, with the exception of Hickman.
Definitely. For Central this season, they've talked about Overall, they're one of the tallest teams from players 1 to 12 that they'll see in the GCAA. Pierce tried to slam it.
Could have used a little more height on that one.
Nice attempt, though, offensively. Pierce trying to spike it for some momentum. Still a 14-point game, but ASA taking it out.
Yeah, it's definitely not out of reach, and that's something that Dominique knows he has to finish, and he'll get made fun of in the film room and move on from. But he's a great player, but excellent cut to get open. Just not able to finish.
Yeah, Pierce has done that. He really looks like a very high IQ player. Austin inside on the left-hand side. Rebound by Drame.
Nice hands by Dram there. Another one of the new big guys to the program.
Hickman loops it in. Osaba, one dribble, finish with the right hand.
Nice finish by Osaba. Thought he might dunk it, but I guess he saw what happened to Dominique and decided to just lay it in.
Raleigh engineering the offense. Almost 5 minutes in. Raleigh blocked away by Osaba. Hickman working in transition. Dishes it off and Drame
Nice
finishes.
pass by Hickman.
Beautiful find for this Central team that has been selfless all season long. Timeout called, 15:26 to go in the game. We'll be back with more. We are back on the Titan Broadcast Network. Hickman, an interception. Layup, wave it off. Offensive foul called. That
Ooh,
one's on
tough call
Hickman.
there. Great defensive play by Hickman. Looked like the player from ASA might have been in the restricted area there, but the official sees it differently. I think Coach Dawson agrees with me.
Yeah, looks like he does.
We might be a little biased, though.
Maybe. Coach Dawson talking with the officials. He's had a couple of calls today that he's had long conversations about.
Well, it's been a COVID year for the officials, too. We're all trying to get in the swing of things here in the early part of February.
Drive inside, layup from Clark. Stolen away on the rebound. Spencer trying to go with it in transition.
Justin Spencer bringing the ball up. He was with the program last year, but he didn't play redshirted. The older brother of Truett Spencer.
Spencer off the back iron. Hickman, reverse layup blocked. It'll stay here.
It was a nice block there by Scotty Austin. Looked like Hickman was going to get another easy reverse bucket.
Couple of subs for ASA in an 18-point ball game. Hickman, top of the key. Foul called. ASA ball.
That was the right call. I tell Justin Spencer all the time he looks more like a football player than a basketball player. Got a little too physical there.
Isaiah Scott comes in for Pierce.
Isaiah Scott, another example of that length we were talking about earlier. New to the program.
Yeah, it's not just the height, it's defensively the length. This is the second out of the 3 games we've had, all 3 at home here. on the Titan Broadcast Network for you. But the second out of 3 where the length has really bothered the opposing offense and held them.
It's so difficult when defensively you can just have arms and legs and hands in the lane. It throws off the offensive rhythm of the other team. Nice finish by Dram there, and I think it's really going to work to the Titans' advantage this year.
Dram with the layup. It's a 20-point advantage, biggest for Central of the day. ASA trying to get things going offensively. Dram steals it. Just out of the reach for Hickman.
And there we see the defensive length by Almami. A little too far ahead on the pass there.
Timeout taken by the Titans, 30-50. They lead. We'll be back with more on the Titan Broadcast Network. We rejoin you here, 13:45 to go in the second half. Central has a lead where they've done a lot of damage today. Points in the paint, outscoring ASA 36-8 in the lane.
And that's the size we talked about. It bothers you on defense, and it's really hard to stop offensively if you can't match up with it, and if you're getting pushed around in the paint or if they're just shooting over you. Should be a big advantage for the Titans this year.
And part of that's come from Hickman, 5 layups. Mark Vance Jr., 3 shots made from the field within 5 feet. And Almany Dram has made 3 in the lane as well. Those 3 guys have led the way in what's been a down day thus far for Terrell and Spencer of Central. Drive from Austin on the right side, well defended.
Tough drive, driving into those trees. It's just tough to finish over the top.
Scott in the lane, stops, lets it go, and some more points in the paint for this Central team.
Nice little bunny move to get to the basket for the easy layup.
Under 13 to play. Tara. Pass picked off. Here comes Scott in transition. Kind of a dunk.
Looked like he wanted to and then changed his mind. I think Dominique Pierce slamming it off the back of the rim may have scared everybody.
Jumped up like he wanted to dunk it and then just dropped it in. But
if I'm that tall, I'm dunking every time. I don't care if I miss it. If I have the opportunity to try to dunk, I'm going to do it.
For sure. Tara, corner 3, off the mark.
Solid close there by Osaba. Again, you're shooting threes, even out on the perimeter. If you're having to shoot over a guy with his size, it's tough.
Here's Scott working inside again, trying to get a reverse. Now Tara finds open space on the right side. And Spencer intercepts it.
Good hands again. Spencer, the resident cornerback.
And Spencer called for an offensive foul.
So they caught him moving on the screen.
Correct, yeah. Spencer just ran into one of the ASA players on the far sideline.
Justin, not the tallest guy on the court, but he is a stout young man.
ASA inbounding right in front of the Central bench. ASA out of Stone Mountain, Georgia, but none of their players from in-state.
Interesting.
post-grad school. Clark takes it across the timeline. ASA looking to get going on the offensive side, something they have not been able to do in the second half. Clark couldn't finish 2 layups.
Yeah, got to the basket, not able to finish.
Gatling misses a dunk.
Oh, man, Titans having trouble with the rim today. Looks like they switched to a zone defense.
Zone defense, not something we see very often from Central, known as a man-to-man type of team.
Rico loves playing man-to-man defense. But I think ASA's trying to drive. The problem is you got to be able to find somebody and box out when you're running a zone.
Well, now we're in the man-to-man.
Yeah,
Mook and Dante going on Terrell. Whistle
go.
blown.
A lot of offensive fouls in this game.
That's true. 11-11 left. Terrell, 5'10" point guard. Scott has it. But players like Scott stepping up today shows you a lot of the depth on the Central team. It's another offensive foul.
It also shows Coach Dawson, as we were talking about, who can you rely on, who can get to the, who does what. Because it's one thing to do it in practice, it's one thing to do it against cones, but when you actually get live competition is when you find out who you can trust when the game is on the line.
Correction, fouls on ASA's Raleigh. Spencer. Pierce on the right side, called for a travel.
Pierce there. Took one too many jab steps.
It'll be ASA ball. Joshua Buckner taking it out. It'll actually be Austin. Austin, one of 4 players from Ontario, Canada, on this ASA team.
I'd like to hear that story. How do you end up in ASA from Ontario, Canada, all the way down in Stone Mountain, Georgia?
I'm not sure, but ASA recruits well internationally. No doubt about that. Buckner inside, banks it home.
Nice bucket from Buckner. Nice cut to the basket. Nice find on the outside.
Pierce dishes it off. Gatling goes up strong around the rim. Doesn't get it. It'll be Central ball.
Gatling having a tough half. He's had issues finishing a couple of times.
Well, for Gatling, he did start the first couple of games. Today, coming off the bench for the first time in his Central career. Maybe a little different rhythm, different cadence to the game today, not being in the lineup, which he's maybe gotten a little used to.
And rhythm definitely matters in this game, especially for the way Coach Dawson runs his offense. Bernard Washai in the game for the Titans. He likes to be called JJ, which is fine by me because I have a tough time with his last name.
You know why, JJ?
He's a junior, but I don't know what the second J is for. He said he should have been called BJ. I don't know. He is from Nigeria.
Correct, yeah, Lagos, Nigeria. Inside, Washai getting his first action since coming back in, fouled immediately, and at the free throw line.
Hope he makes his free throws. He is behind on his work in my class.
Gonna give him extra credit if he makes the shots.
Maybe. Hopefully he's been in the gym working on his free throws. That's why he hadn't done his schoolwork yet, but I'm sure he'll get caught up.
Missed on the first free throw. Tara comes back in. It'll be interesting to see here in the final quarter of the game. Will ASA keep their pressure looks and their tempo that they've shown early on? What kind of style are they going to play? They've only got 7 guys. They've got a pretty heavy schedule as well.
That's what's tough with teams like ASA. A lot of times you end up somewhat short-handed, and in the last 10 minutes of a game like this, your guys start to get winded. I mean, you can only lean on them so much. Wide open shot, off the mark, rebound by Washai.
And Rowley missed that one, had a wide open three. Was able to clear off to the wing. Terrell tried to drive. Central recovering well. Scott is able to come away with it. And here's Washai, a jam.
There we go. Maybe a little extra credit for finally getting a dunk for Central Georgia Tech there.
There you go, 57-32. 25-point game, 9:07 until the game goes final. Thank you all for tuning in. More action coming around the corner. We are back on the Titan Broadcast Network. 9:07 to play. Central has been very solid today in their third game. All three at home. A look at their upcoming schedule. On Saturday, they'll play at Franklin Prep Postgrad and Warner Robins at 4 p.m. And then next Tuesday, they're back home here on the Titan Broadcast Network, taking on South Georgia Tech at 7 p.m. Pass tipped. Here comes Scott. Layup on the right side goes.
Looking forward to the South Georgia Tech game. That's typically a big conference rivalry. South Georgia Tech early in Coach Dawson's career, the preeminent program. Coach Dawson, of course, has won 3 straight championships. Unfortunately, was not able to go to Kansas last year because of the pandemic, shut everything down.
And I think would have been a number 23 seed as well going in there. So prospects were good last year. Now 3 players returned from that team. They're ranked number 20 in the national poll that came out today now in the NJCAA.
You know, it's tough in GCAA. We don't get the notoriety of, say, the Panhandle or Texas or Kansas schools. But for Coach Dawson to have won 3 straight championships, he's really kind of put this program on the map, and it's taken that long. He's been out to Kansas once as a runner-up, and then would have been 3 straight trips as we see JJ go down hard.
Washai got fouled there.
But, yeah, Coach Dawson, I can't say enough about what he has done. Local Maconite, I guess you would say, went to Southwest High School just across the street over here, and has just done an excellent job building up this program.
For sure, and he's done a lot of it, especially with this incoming recruiting class, recruiting the state of Georgia well, finding the talent around him, north of him in Atlanta. Of course, finding guys like Washai out of Nigeria, Shalom Osaba from Nigeria, and Almani Drame, another guy that played in high school in Florida but is originally from Senegal.
Yeah, it's Be All Mommy. Also in my class, also behind on his work. So when you get him back in the game, get him some points.
We're getting the real scoop here.
Yeah. Good kids, though. Good kids.
Under 8 to play. Raleigh fouled.
Yeah. Late call, but I think it was the correct call there against White, displacing the offensive player with his body.
Raleigh at the free throw line.
You know, I used to be an official, and I used to hate it when coaches would get on to me for late calls. If it's correct, you know, it just took me a second to get my whistle to my mouth. No, I wasn't the best official. I definitely missed calls, but
Yeah.
the late call thing, I never really understood that argument. Is it right or is it wrong? That's all that matters, in my opinion. But you got to work the refs. I get that.
Well, White and Washai off to the bench. Speaking of Washai, what do you teach to be having these guys in your classes?
So we have a sports and fitness management program, and I am able to, as an adjunct, teach a couple of classes a semester, and we usually end up with a few basketball players in there.
Osaba, count it and one.
Excellent feed by Montavious Terrell there to Osaba inside, right over the head of an ASA defender, and nice finish, catch and finish by Shalom Osaba.
Osaba has a three-point play.
I like how he wastes no time. You get 10 seconds to shoot a free throw. He shot that in under 2 easy. You don't see that very often.
No. Austin. Terrell got his hand on it. Comes back up top.
Terrell out of Tifton. Important key returnee for this team. Instrumental in the championship last year. Good hands again.
Here's Hickman on the left side. Got that one to go.
Nice steal and finish there. Buckner tried to draw the charge, but it was too little too late. Nice finish on the other side for Buckner, though.
Yeah, Buckner's had a few shots today, but the offense for ASA has just really never gotten going.
Again, we talk about the length. And I don't want to beat it into the ground, but it's such an advantage, at least in this matchup, for Central Georgia Tech.
Now Hickman headed to the free throw line, his team in the bonus.
Thinking back on previous rosters that Coach Dawson has had, I'm not sure that he's ever had this much length. We definitely had guys of this size, but seeing this many that he can throw at you, I'm not sure that's ever been the case.
Osaba with a block. Third block of the day for Shalom. Hickman off his foot.
Sloppy, sloppy.
Now Clark draws it back. Scotty Austin. Challenging Drame, dribbles back out. Under 15 on the shot clock. Rowley. Step back. Long two-pointer. Short. And rebounded by Osaba.
Osaba actually took that one away from Pierce.
Pierce inside. Another offensive foul.
Pretty nice defensive play by Scotty Austin there.
Yeah, 3 or 4 charges taken now by the ASA team. It's where they've been best on the defensive side. Pierce and Osaba come off. Scott Spencer back in. Well, with 5:51 to play, Truett Spencer's on the bench for Central. He has no points today. It'd be a rare game and a good defensive effort from ASA if they were to keep it that way for the full 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's not something you like to see if you're a fan of the Titans. But again, these early games, they just tend to be this is a sloppy basketball game, and I think that's fair to say. And it's not a knock on either one of these teams, but you know, early on in the season when you're just feeling out how to play with one another, I don't think that we'll see many scoreless games from Truett Spencer, and maybe he'll get back in and get a chance to get on the board.
Foul called, and you mentioned it being a sloppy game, Craig. We've got almost 50 turnovers between the two teams.
That hurts my soul a little bit.
It stings for the fans of the sport, no matter what side.
50 turnovers is unbelievable.
And a lot of it's been a decent bit of up-tempo play, teams being riskier in transition.
Right.
Sometimes that's a side effect, but 50 is a little extravagant there.
Well, and it's a 29-point game right now, so people, the game is not so much in question, so maybe a little bit looser with the ball. And again, we talk about the teams trying to find chemistry, but you're also trying to earn playing time. This is kind of the early part of the season where you're trying to prove to your coach and your teammates that you can be trusted, and sometimes you can do a little bit too much.
Titan basketball tipped off of ASA. Yeah, that, and then when you get into these situations where you've got your bench guys coming in, guys that wouldn't get as many minutes, trying to make plays, sometimes trying to do a little too much.
Absolutely, trying to get on the board. And
it is tough on the Central team. 12 guys, the talent, especially once you get out of the top 3, players 4 through 12, not too far apart in terms of talent. It's a very even squad, very balanced, very deep.
And Coach Dawson typically, I don't want to say he uses a short rotation, but when you get on into the conference tournament and when you're going out to Kansas, you do see that bench start to shorten up, the guys that are actually getting in the game and playing significant minutes. And these guys, are trying to get recruited ultimately to four-year schools, and it's tough to do if you're sitting over there on the sideline.
Buckner, short off the rim. Spencer drives in strong. Raleigh taking it the other way. Raleigh. Buckner with the finish.
Nice follow there by Buckner. Raleigh pushing pace.
Travel called on Scott.
Another turnover.
Well, both teams have 25 now. We're dead on 50.
Turnovers.
Yep.
There are going to be some sprints in practice. If not tomorrow, then next week.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you have to clean those up. You got to have the high standards of execution to compete and try to win that GCAA for the 4th straight year.
These are the kind of games that you end up running sprints until you're sick at 5 a.m. the next day. Now, I'm not wishing that on these guys, but I know the standard that Coach Dawson demands of his players, and he will not be happy with the turnovers here.
Well, the tone I got from Coach Dawson, it's out of bounds. Osaba's going to come in. The tone I got from him in the pregame interview that I did was, we're doing all right because we're 2-0. Now they're about to be 3-0, but he knows they've got work to do.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is, ASA coming in here with 7 players. They're undersized and playing hard. But the fact is, you're going to be going up against teams when you hit conference play that are just as big as you. Well, maybe not just as big. I don't know. It just depends on the program. But they're going to have the same number of scholarship players as you. And it's going to be a different ball game. So if you come out and turn the ball over 25 times, you're not going to win many games in this league.
Spencer back outside, and it's tough. Starting in January, you're in kind of a preseason deal. Osaba finishes with the right hand.
Well, these guys are coming in. They don't even know for sure when they come in the fall if they're going to have a season coming up this winter. So it has been a tough year, but they're fighting through it.
Buckner drives and gets it to go. 3:05 to go.
Nice bucket by Buckner there. Looks like he's got 14 in the game.
Most of that has come in the second half for him as well. Big performance to close out. Scott has it in the corner. Wave it off.
Thought he was going to get a bucket. Titans bench was wanting that one.
Well, now shooting 1-1 is Isaiah Scott. The foul's called on Buckner, which happened before the shot attempt. Only shooting free throws because we are in the 1-1. First is good, and Scott will be awarded a second. Isaiah Scott's been a bright spot today if he hits this free throw. Now he has 10 points.
There we go. Double figures for Scott there. Again, one of the new guys.
3 guys in double figures for Central. Shalomo Saba has 9. And Truett Spencer is not one of those guys. Montavious Terrell also not. Foul called as Raleigh heads to the line. So again, showing off the impressive depth of this team.
Yeah, Raleigh has shown an ability to take Titan defenders one-on-one and either get to the line or finish.
First free throw off the rim. He's been aggressive today. Started off very strong. He's continued that consistently throughout the game. Errol White comes back in.
14 points on the day for Raleigh. He and Buckner leading the way for ASA. Misses both free throws, though.
And Scott handling the ball. Osaba, left elbow, pump fake, turnover out of bounds.
Just lost it. Looks like they're going to let him keep the ball, though. I guess it...
Off ASA.
Yeah,
Yep.
somebody from ASA reached in, knocked it out.
Scott's going to take it out. Scott did not play very much on Saturday, just got a few minutes, the freshman guard. It's been a big difference as Pierce loads up a long shot, gets his own rebound, and puts it in. Spencer.
Nice bucket from Spencer there. 5 points on the day. Older brother of Truett Spencer.
31-point game with under 2 minutes to play. Buckner working on Errol White. White's been one of the top defensive performers today, along with Shalomo Saba, who tipped that ball.
Saba long hands there. Spencer with the close.
Saba's able to pull it down. Central's out-rebounded this season their opponents by 5 on average.
Nice
Terrell
defense.
going behind the back, dishes off to White, who finishes.
Now, if you're Muckin Dente, you played excellent defense right there, but Terrell just a little bit better offense with the assists underneath.
And the way that Terrell's able to move around, find guys, no-look pass to dish that inside. 74-41, 33-point margin here in the timeout. We'll be back with more coverage. CGTC hosting their 3rd consecutive game. This one is a blowout here from Macon, Georgia. Points in the paint. The big thing separating these two teams. 54 from Central compared to 16 from ASA.
54 points from Central Georgia Tech is an astronomical number and actually outscores ASA just with points in the paint. ASA only with 41 so far.
It'd still be a double-digit lead if they had not made a shot from outside the paint. And when you look at shooting, too, I mean, Central's 2 of 9. Both teams are 2 of 9 from beyond the arc. It's not been a good shooting day from outside for anybody. But the points in the paint has elevated Central to where, in the second half, it's not really been in question of who's going to win this game. Scott.
Speaking of points in the paint, there's Scott again.
It's been a clinic, and overall, wow. CGTC shooting 53% from the floor. That's not often you see
You
that.
can't ask for much better than that.
Scotty Austin drills a 3, right, as we're talking about the 3-point shooting. 3rd 3 for the team of ASA today.
Austin with 8 points for ASA.
White keeping it away from Austin.
The old Kevin Garnett one-hand hold away.
Timeout called. 18.4 seconds left. We'd like to tell you again the upcoming schedule. Saturday at Franklin Prep for the men's team here at CGTC. That's in Warner Robins at 4 p.m. on Saturday. That will not be broadcast, but we'll be back on the Titan Broadcast Network Tuesday at home versus South Georgia Tech at 7 o'clock game. A GCAA rival opponent, as you mentioned, Craig. That should be a good one.
South Georgia Tech Jets. If you are familiar with the NBA player Jay Crowder, he actually played for South Georgia Tech when Rico Dawson was the assistant coach at South Georgia Tech in probably around 2008, 2009. So
wow.
Talented NBA player, a veteran now, been in the league for probably over a decade.
Foul called. It's on Hickman.
Turnover again.
Now 13.7 seconds left. Scotty Austin out of Brampton, Ontario, Canada.
Titans can get this one across half court. That should be, or excuse me, if ASA can get it across half court, that should be the end of the game, but they might try to get a quick shot. We'll see if they dribble it out.
76-44. 32-point ball game.
Coach Dawson calling off the Dogs with 13.7 seconds left as he backs off his defense.
Clark with it in his hands, dribbling it out. It's been a great game for Central. Craig, your final thoughts?
Gotta clean up the turnovers. Obviously, points in the paint were the difference, as you pointed out. Titans have exceptional length, but Coach Dawson is not going to be happy about turnovers, and I would think they would expect the three-point shooting to be better going forward.
Well, and to finish for Central, a bright spot, they had 50 points off the bench today. 50 of 76.
And this is the time, as I said, you find out who you can trust. Probably, there aren't going to be as many minutes going around when South Georgia Tech comes to town. So as Coach Dawson reviews the film, it's going to be helpful for him going forward to figure out who he's going to have in the game in crunch time when it counts in the games that really matter, which are the conference games.
Well, leading scorers for Action Sports Academy, ASA, Joshua Buckner, 14, Ramir Rowley, 14. For Central, 3 guys in double figures with Jalen Hickman and Isaiah Scott having 12. Mark Vance Jr., 9. Vance Jr. had 10. Shalomo Saba, 9. You have to think with 50 bench points, there's some guys on the bench that may not be coming off the bench for much longer, the way things are looking.
And you'll definitely see the starting lineups change and shift over time, especially early on in the season. But I'm interested to see what Coach Dawson and Coach Mincy, as they go back and review the film, what they come up with really a big opponent looming in the very near future.
Definitely. Well, for Craig Lawson, I'm Luke Winstall. Thank you all for tuning in on the Titan Sports Network. We will see you back with more coverage next week.